Hello gamers, this is Si, and welcome back to Which Way Games. Now, what terrors can be found in the Book of the Dead? Now that's enough to send a chill down your spine, and with that being said, let's get on with the video. Now the Resident Evil series has always had links to the world of horror, and the remake for the Nintendo GameCube is a perfect addition for any gamer that likes to be scared by the undead. However, there is one game on Nintendo's purple box of fun that focuses on sending gamers to the edge of madness and beyond. This of course would be the infamous Eternal Darkness, but to appreciate the game we have to go back to where it all started. In the 80s and 90s, Nintendo were always known for censoring certain types of content from appearing on their consoles. However, when the Nintendo 64 graced the world of gaming, the restraints of the past slowly began to loosen. Eventually this classic 64-bit console would begin to have games aimed at a more grown-up audience. Games such as Shadow Man, Biofreaks, and the cult classic Doom 64. A fantastic game for fans of the Doom series, and the games I just mentioned were just a handful of titles that were aimed at an older audience, but there were rumours of more mature games on the way.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Now, one of the most infamous mature games for the Nintendo 64 was Conker's Bad Fur Day, but there was another game that caught gamers' attention just by the name alone: Eternal Darkness.
Shut up and take my money!
Silicon Knights were the masterminds behind the development of Eternal Darkness, which was destined to be released on the Nintendo 64. And while they had every intention of creating a game within the horror genre, Silicon Knights wanted to sidestep from the survival horror aspect of gaming. The likes of Resident Evil had already perfected the art of survival horror, but Silicon Knights wanted to create a game that would mess with gamers' minds. Ah, spiders! Spiders! This can't be happening. Now with Eternal Darkness being announced for the Nintendo 64, gamers at the time were getting excited of the possibilities of playing a game that could rival the likes of Silent Hill and Resident Evil. And while development seemed to be on track, eventually Eternal Darkness soon found itself leaving the 64-bit era behind in favour of the upcoming Nintendo GameCube. Eventually I'll come back to the GameCube in a future video, but coming back to Eternal Darkness, this fantastic game graced the world of gaming in 2002. The story of Eternal Darkness begins where Alex Rovis returns to Rhode Island after her grandfather is brutally murdered within his mansion home. With unexplained events being the catalyst for this horrific event, the local police have failed to come up with an answer for this gruesome murder. Angered by this, Alex returns to the mansion 2 weeks later, and while exploring, she comes across a secret room, and deep inside lays a book bound in human flesh, otherwise known as the Tome of Darkness. Within its pages are the accounts of the last 2,000 years and the several souls that came into contact with the mysterious book, including the Roman centurion Pius Augustus.
What have the Romans ever done for us?
It's while in ancient Persia that Pius finds himself being lured away from his men by a disembodied voice. Soon he enters the Forbidden City and while there, Pius encounters 3 artifacts of immense godlike energy, referred as the power of the ancients. Reaching out, Pius touches one of the artifacts, and from its evil touch, the Centurion becomes an immortal creature of the undead. From here begins a tale of horror and deceit, with several souls succumbing to the madness of the supernatural.
The darkness comes! It will damn us all!
Gameplay for Eternal Darkness is similar to Resident Evil. However, unlike the Resident Evil games, Eternal Darkness focused more on the psychological aspects of gaming, and making gamers question what was real and what wasn't. Of course, I'm referring to the sanity effects, which were a nice feature within Eternal Darkness, and if the green bar got too low, then unusual events would begin to occur. Some of these effects would start small, but eventually they'll become more disturbing, even breaking the fourth wall. Within Eternal Darkness, there are different enemy types, where physical attacks have no effect, but luckily the concept of magic could be combined with other items, as well as being made stronger to help gamers progress through the insanity of Eternal Darkness. But of course, gamers were given the chance to choose between 3 magical types, but choose wisely, because the wrong decision could have terrible consequences.
Oh, come on!
Such was the popularity of Eternal Darkness that gamers were already talking about a possible sequel, but sadly this never came to be, but gamers still hold out hope that the Tome of Darkness will return to the world of gaming one day. Overall, it's easy to see how Eternal Darkness has become a cult classic over the years. With its decent gameplay and a story spanning 2,000 years, Eternal Darkness is a must for any gamer who enjoys games set within the world of the supernatural and the occult. Perhaps in time, Eternal Darkness will return to the world of gaming, with either a remake or even a long-awaited sequel. Either way, gamers will enjoy Eternal Darkness, but remember, not everything is as it seems. Anyway, come back next time where the cartoon guy takes a look at the classic trapdoor. Anyway, come back next time where the cartoon guy takes a look at the classic trapdoor. But remember, there's always something down there waiting to come out. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.